Hello, everyone. This is Daniel, and I'm just gonna say that everyone lives by Christ and dies by the flesh. Now, this is the video to basically end the note on the other video. If anyone wasn't patient enough or they didn't have time to see the other one on the video, that the other video was wrapping up to say that everyone dies by the flesh and lives by Christ, and that's simple enough. Now, obviously, living by Christ means you're living in heaven with Christ. You're alive in Christ, and what that means spiritually is that you do not have eternal condemnation, and that's not to say that you're alive on earth or basically anything like that. It just means you just earned your next life. You do not have a second death, and that second death means there's you have three lives. The first one is on earth. The second one is in heaven, and the third one is in hell. But basically, that one's dark in hell. Basically, it's a complex process, but really, all you have to understand is that in heaven you have your own spirit, but then if your spirit dies, you're stuck with your own flesh on earth that's died, and you're in hell. I don't know how that goes, but obviously that's what I think is going on. Now, Jesus is basically the way, and he is the one that rescued you out of death and condemnation. He is the life. He is the fruit bearer. He's everything. I believe he's also the tree to heaven. Because, when he was first planted, he was a seed that was planted in the ground. Just this little seed. And it got planted in the ground by God. And it got crucified as a seed died. But then it spread forth 12 people, which spread forth 5,000 other people, 3,000 first on the other side, and 2,000 more on the other side. So it's like 3,000 plus 2,000, I believe, and then that's 5,000. And those people baptized other people to number like unnumberable amount of people. So basically, instead of like 5,000, there was people in the amounts of people that were unnumbered. Then the people spread from Jerusalem to Rome. And then they spread all throughout Rome. Then they went to all over Europe, China, then parts of Africa, then in North America and South America, and also in Australia. And we still have people in parts of Asia, and we still have people in parts of Africa. So as Christ was planted, he gave forth much fruit. What does that much fruit mean? It means that you are fruitful. In one context, that means many good actions by the fruit, like it starts by love, joy, peace. It goes down to long suffering, and then it goes down to self-control. And you can spread that type of action by actually telling people about God, which his name is Jesus. And Jesus is, by the way, the only God that we should really be with. He's the only God that is the true God. Jesus is the way. He is the only spirit we must live with. Jesus is divine Lord that we must bear fruit with. I mean, now, by the way, we cannot bear fruit by ourselves. Like I said in the other video, only Jesus can bear our fruits. Only He can give our fruits to us. He can give His fruits to us, and we cannot do it by ourselves. So we must basically we're not conscious with Jesus, like I said, but we are Christ-centered. Christ is the center of the universe. Christ is basically we have to live our lives literally like it's the last. We have to live our lives with Christ alone. And also, if you didn't know, people who don't live their lives with Christ are living it by themselves. And another thing is, accept anyone who is A, Christ, B, your family, and C, anyone that is a true believer of Christ. Everyone else, you should spread the message to and then leave alone, because they'll figure it out or they won't. But that's not you. Jesus Christ is the only one that really gives you His message. He tells you what to do, and then you further do that action, not by yourself, but by what Christ tells you to do. So, when Christ is the only one that gives you the message, and He gives you the message either by Himself or angels or by other people might not be trustworthy unless you know they're trustworthy. If you know they're trustworthy, then listen to them. And if you know that angel is spreading the Bible, if you know that he's spreading the word by the Bible, I mean, you must touch the Spirit. If it's from the Bible, then it's good. If it's not from the Bible, then it's not good. Because then there's also the fact that, Christ conscious, that's not a good word. Christ conscious, or anything that is of your own mind, just being conscious and living by your own mind, that is a cause of death. Because like I said, living by your flesh will kill you. And living by Jesus, and only by Jesus, and having yourself centered by Christ, that is life. Look, keeping your eye on heaven and daring to get really close to heaven and only thinking about heaven, as well as doing what heaven and Jesus, especially Jesus, keeping your eye on Jesus and basically doing what Jesus tells you to do and basically what He tells you to do with people. It's basically the first thing that you must have to, think about and do all in all contexts is Jesus. He is the only way. Jesus is the only way. Everything else is secondary. And I don't know. A lot of people are thinking about the New Age ways or the Buddhist ways or everything else that is basically Eastern countries. But Jesus, He certainly is a God of truth. And He is the only God of truth. Because He is going to come on this earth and basically His angels are going to gather His people by this cloud. Everyone's going to see this cloud. And it's going to be possibly like a regular cloud or a cloud of angels. You never know. But it's certainly going to look like a cloud, isn't it? All these angels are going to gather their people. One angel at a time? I don't think so. Because I think every angel is going to take every person. That means one angel per every person. One person for every angel. But that doesn't mean that we're going to be taken up by surprise. Because Jesus is going to be in the center of all this. Then after that, the angel that took some people to heaven, instead of, first the dead will be taken to heaven, then at the end, the living shall be taken. But after that, there will be mass slaughter. Just remember that. Because these angels will end up taking the lives of people that don't believe. And I mean by don't believe, and they just don't believe in the truth. These people that the angels slaughtered or that put to hell, these people do not believe in the truth. And that truth is Jesus. And that truth is the Bible. All of it is starting from Jesus. So if you believe in Jesus, you have to believe the truth in Jesus and know the word that he's speaking and every single word that he's speaking. Because if it isn't from the Bible, then it isn't the truth. And there are two types of truths. One truth is a truth. And that is a truth of something that happened. And then there's the truth. And that truth is the divine truth. The divine truth of Jesus. All right. I'll be done now, okay? Bye.